Hello everyone, this is our third lecture in the course Plant Bacteriology. In this lecture, we are going to learn about some prokaryotic plant pathogens which are not bacteria in true sense. So those prokaryotic plant pathogens like Phytoplasma, Spiroplasma, Fastidious bacteria, we will learn about them in this lecture. So the first thing is Phytoplasma. These phytoplasmas are wall-less gram-positive bacteria. Though we said bacteria, but they are not truly bacteria because they do not have cell wall. Though phytoplasmas are prokaryotic, like other bacteria, the phytoplasmas are kept in a separate group in the taxonomy. These phytoplasmas were known as mycoplasma-like organisms because they resemble many characteristics of mycoplasma. Mycoplasmas are also wall-less. Mycoplasmas are also pleomorphic, just like phytoplasma. But these mycoplasmas are animal pathogenic or human pathogenic. But phytoplasmas are plant pathogenic. So that is the reason that phytoplasmas have now been separated from the name of mycoplasma. There is another difference between mycoplasma and phytoplasma. Mycoplasmas are saprophytic, they are culturable in the lab, whereas phytoplasmas are obligate parasites or biotrophs, not culturable in the lab. Now, since the phytoplasmas do not have cell wall, the shape of the cell is not maintained. So the shape changes. So it is called as pleomorphic. Pleomorphic or polymorphic because it changes shapes. Morph or form, the shape is changed. Now it can be spherical to elongate or filamentous, about 0.3 to 0.8 micron in diameter. Mostly it is spherical, so diameter is the dimension that has been used here. So it is less than 1 micron in diameter. They are not culturable, so they are called as biotrophic or obligate parasites. We have many other obligate parasitic plant pathogens, but mycoplasmas are saprophytic, they are culturable. Phytoplasmas are plant pathogenic. They only infect plant. They multiply in the plant. They are found only in the phloem tissue of the host plant. So we know that vascular bundles of plant have two components, xylem and phloem. They cannot live or grow in the xylem. They are found only in the phloem because phytoplasmas, since they do not have cell wall, it is difficult for them to maintain the integrity of the cell. So they require isotonic environment because they are osmotically labile. So any change in the osmotic concentration of the medium where they are present can cause cellular aberrations. Now, since they do not have cell wall, they are also not sensitive to cell wall degrading enzymes like penicillin. We discussed in earlier class that penicillin inhibits cell wall biosynthesis by inhibiting the pentaglycine residue formation. So, since they do not have cell wall, they are not sensitive to penicillin, but they are sensitive to antibiotics which have protein synthesis inhibition function like tetracycline. Now these phytoplasmas, though they do not have cell wall, but they behave like gram-positive bacteria. When they are stained with gram stain like crystal violet, we have two gram stains in gram staining process. First one is crystal violet, second one is safranin. Now phytoplasmas, when they are stained with crystal violet, they take up crystal violet and behave like and color like gram-positive bacteria. Now these phytoplasmas, as I said, they multiply in the plant only. They infect the plant only, but they are also transmitted by leaf hoppers, plant hoppers and xylid vectors. These are all phloem sucking insects. Since the phytoplasmas are present only in the phloem of the plant, the vectors should feed into the phloem to be able to acquire the phytoplasma and transmit to other plants. Phytoplasmas are not seed transmitted. Phytoplasmas, since they are not culturable, it is not easy to identify them or characterize them fully. But they have been identified on the basis of molecular probes such as polyclonal antibodies, monoclonal antibodies, then DNA studies, especially 16S ribosomal RNA sequencing. We know the importance of 16S ribosomal RNA sequencing. This 16S ribosomal RNA is a part of smaller subunit 30S of prokaryotic 70S ribosome. So this 16S RNA, rRNA sequence plays a key role in the modern day taxonomy of prokaryotes. Now spiroplasmas. Spiroplasmas are also prokaryotic single-celled microorganisms. They are wall-less again, just like phytoplasmas. They also behave like gram-positive bacteria when stained with gram-stained crystal violet. The cells of spiroplasma are spiral shaped, that is why the name spiroplasma. But they are culturable. We can grow them in the lab in artificial media. They are plant pathogenic. They are transmitted by leaf hopper. They are also not sensitive to penicillin but sensitive to tetracycline group of antibiotics or the antibiotics which inhibit protein biosynthesis. We have some names of spiroplasmas here: Spiroplasma citri, Spiroplasma kunkeli. They cause diseases in citrus and corn respectively. Spiroplasmas have their scientific names because they have been cultured and characterized well. Whereas the phytoplasmas, their scientific names are not established or valid. They have not got proper genus and species name yet. Now, fastidious prokaryotes. The fastidious prokaryotes means they are also single-celled prokaryotic organisms like bacteria, but they have some special requirements in order to grow in the lab. Nutritional requirements. They are fastidious in behavior. They are choosy in behavior. So it is difficult to grow them in the lab. Some are culturable, some are not culturable. So fastidious prokaryotes form a different group, and in that group we have two different subgroups: fastidious xylem inhabiting bacteria or xylem limited bacteria, and fastidious phloem inhabiting bacteria or fastidious phloem limited bacteria. Now these fastidious xylem inhabiting or xylem limited bacteria, they are found in the xylem of the host plant only. Xylem, the vascular bundle. These fastidious xylem limited bacteria, they are like rickettsia. They are also known as RLO, rickettsia like organisms. They are plant pathogenic. These FXLB or fastidious xylem limited bacteria, are non-motile. That means they do not have flagella. They are rod-shaped bacteria. Now, there is no common characteristics of all the members in this group. All characteristics are not similar. The FXLB that are sharpshooter transmitted have gram-negative cell wall and are mostly non-culturable. So here we see that some fastidious xylem limited bacteria are transmitted by sharpshooters insects and they are gram-negative and non-culturable. Whereas Clavivector xyle or Leafsonia xyle that causes ratoon stunting in sugarcane is mechanically transmitted, culturable in the lab, it is saprophytic and has a gram-positive cell wall. So we do not have commonness. We have vast difference. Some are culturable in the lab, some are not culturable. Some are gram positive, whereas others are gram negative. So we see the fastidious nature of these kind of prokaryotes. Some of the symptoms they produce in the plant are burning, stunting, wilting, or decline. Burning means leaf burning. Some other diseases caused by FXLV are Pierce's disease of grapevine caused by Xylella fastidiosa. It is culturable in the lab. And this Xylella fastidiosa, which is a xylem limited fastidious prokaryote, the genus and species name tell it all, Xylella fastidiosa. It also causes alfalfa dwarf, almond leaf scorch, etc. And in this case, the vector transmits the bacterium non persistently with no incubation in their body. That means the bacteria do not enter the insect body. They are found in the salivary syringe or the stylet of the insect. The bacteria are released when the insects salivate, and the bacteria are released in the xylem tissue of the next plant during feeding. So these are xylem limited fastidious bacteria. So Xylella fastidiosa is one example. We have Clavivector xyle, another example. Now Xylella fastidiosa, if you can recall, this is the bacterium, plant pathogenic bacterium, the first plant pathogenic bacterium whose genome was fully sequenced. Okay, now we move to the next category, fastidious phloem limited bacteria or phloem inhabiting bacteria. One classical example of this pathogen is citrus greening pathogen. Citrus greening is the most important disease of citrus today in the world. This disease is also known as citrus huanglongbin. It is a Chinese word meaning yellow dragon disease because the infected shoot of the citrus plant turns yellow, whereas the fruits remain green. This citrus greening is caused by a fastidious phloem limited bacterium. This disease occurs in the African and Asian tropical regions. This bacterium is not culturable in the lab. It is a gram-negative bacterium and restricted to the phloem of the infected plant. Now, when the Asian and African strains of this bacterium were characterized, slight difference was found based on the 16S rRNA studies. And also differences were there in terms of the vectors that transmit the disease. The vector is a xylid vector and the name of the vector is Diaphorina citri in Asia and Triosa erytri in Africa. Now these bacteria being fastidious and non-culturable, their scientific names are only proposed. Since the bacterium is not fully characterized due to its non-culturability, their scientific names have not been established. So, the name Candidatus Liberibacter africanus is given for African strain, the strain which causes citrus greening in Africa, African tropics, and the Candidatus Liberobacter asiaticus is given for the bacterium causing citrus greening in Asian tropics. So here the genus name proposed is Liberibacter or Liberobacter, and the species name differs depending on the geographical region. And this name is in a state of Candidatus. Now let us see the differences between bacteria and phytoplasma. Both are prokaryotic, single-celled organisms. Bacteria have cell wall, but phytoplasma, they do not have cell wall. They are soft skinned. They are covered by only plasma membrane or cell membrane. They are also called as molecules. Bacteria are mostly rod shaped, which are plant pathogenic. The plant pathogenic bacteria are rod shaped. They can be spherical also, or they may have other shapes like curved or spiral shape. Phytoplasma, they are pleomorphic, or mostly they are spherical. Bacteria can be either gram positive or gram negative. Phytoplasma always give gram positive response. Bacteria can be grown in culture media. Bacteria are all saprophytic. Phytoplasma, they are biotrophs. They cannot be grown in culture media. Bacteria can be transmitted by or spread by rain splash, by insects. Phytoplasma, since they are present inside the phloem, they can be transmitted only by phloem feeding insects like leafhoppers, plant hoppers, xylids. Bacteria, they are sensitive to penicillin because they have cell wall, and penicillin is a cell wall degrading antibiotic. Phytoplasma are insensitive to penicillin. They do not have cell wall, but they are sensitive to tetracycline or other protein synthetic inhibitors. Bacteria, they have wide host range, plant, animal, human beings. For phytoplasma, it is only plant. In the plant, the bacteria can be found in the intercellular space and also in the vascular bundles, those which are wilt causing, especially in xylem. But phytoplasma are found in the phloem cells only. So these are some differences between bacteria and phytoplasma, though they are single-celled prokaryotic microorganisms. Now, phytoplasma and mycoplasma, how they are different? Both are single-celled, wall-less prokaryotes. Mycoplasma is also single-celled, wall-less. Phytoplasma is also single-celled, wall-less. But there are differences. Some differences have been listed here. In mycoplasma, we see that they can be grown in culture media. They are saprophytic. Phytoplasma, as we know, they are biotrophs, cannot be grown in culture media in the lab. Mycoplasma are animal pathogenic or human pathogenic, whereas phytoplasma is a name given to those MLOs which are plant pathogenic. They are in the phloem only, phloem of the plant only. Mycoplasma require external supply of sterol for their growth, but phytoplasmas, they do not require external supply of sterol. Genome size of mycoplasma is 580 to 2220 kilobase. Compared to mycoplasma, phytoplasma has smaller genome, 530 to 1350 kilobase. Plasmid is absent in mycoplasma. Plasmid is one extra chromosomal covalently closed circular DNA, which is not there in mycoplasma, but plasmids are present in phytoplasma. GC ratio in the DNA of Mycoplasma is 24 to 41, while that in Phytoplasma is 23 to 29. So only some differences have been listed here. There will be many other differences. You can search for them. Now, how Phytoplasma and Spiroplasma are different? Both of them are wall-less. Both of them are plant pathogenic, but there are differences. Phytoplasma is pleomorphic because they do not have cell wall, mostly spherical in shape. But Spiroplasma, it has got spiral shape. Phytoplasma is obligate parasites, non-culturable. Spiroplasma is saprophytic and culturable. Plasmid is present in Phytoplasma, absent in Spiroplasma. Phytoplasma do not require external supply of sterol, but Spiroplasma require sterol. Size: Phytoplasma has 0.3 to 0.8 micron size, less than 1 micron. But Spiroplasma, they are 100 to 240 nanometer in diameter and 1 to 2 micron in length. So these are the differences between Phytoplasma and Spiroplasma. So with this, we end the discussion on some prokaryotic plant pathogens like Phytoplasma, Spiroplasma, their characteristics, the differences, and also how they are different from bacteria, another major group of prokaryotic plant pathogen. We have also seen that there is a group called fastidious prokaryotes which are plant pathogenic. Some are xylem limited, some are phloem limited. So this brings us to the end of the lecture. If you have any question in mind, you can write to me in the comment box. Thank you very much.